Hey folks, it's Shooter. Hey, just going to do a quick market recap here. Of course, at the end of the presentation, do please review our disclosures. Really didn't get much today out of the SPY. I mean, we're right here hovering about 454 at the close, so it's still filling out that little flat, maybe that 453, still prints tomorrow. NASDAQ, not much different either, closing right around 389.11. Now, the Dow really sort of grinding up a little bit. Not really that much more exciting than the SPY or the NASDAQ. A number of people aren't in today. A number of people are getting their flights back. So I would suspect that if we see any kind of selling, it happen by tomorrow. Otherwise, I think by Wednesday, we start grinding up again. That's sort of my thought. So right now, the Dow, we're looking for maybe 390 on our primary wave 3 up here from where we are. So it's got some decent upside. So once we get this breakout above that 356.70, at that point, I think we enter a new bull market, unless the Russells doesn't join in. And right now, I do still have a negative count on the Russells, with our primary wave 3 coming in around 147. So it looks like our C's in here. So this ABC, and then we should roll back over there. So, we have to have the Russells pushed to the upside for us to enter in a new bear market. That's just my thought. Excuse me. A new bull market. I don't know why. I just can't wake up today. Been one of those days. All right, dollar really didn't go anywhere. Where's either? We closed right at 103.12. So we're sort of at that prior low off of our 103.07 was our low on our intermediate wave 1. Now we did get a little bit of a push on TLT, not a lot. We're still building out these legs. I'm just seeing where all my counts are now, make sure we're still in the right place. So we're going to put in this intermediate wave 4 and then put in our intermediate wave 5. So target 1's still about 92.64. And then we had a little bit lower is what I think occurs now. Now, I just wanted to go over some sector ETFs here on Monday because we didn't really cover that this weekend anywhere. So we get a visual of where we are. SOX, semis, iShares ETF, looking bullish. We're getting back above, just poking our head back on what was our trend support. Target says about 682. So we do have quite a little bit of upside here should the markets continue to run on. Looking at XLK, definitely bullish. All-time highs heading towards about 193. XLY, sort of in this flat area still. But I do expect it to continue to the high side. So let me come down and run my numbers to see what has changed. And we've tightened up a little bit on our 3 and our 4, which is constructive to the upside. That means it's tightening up in its range. So you start seeing something like this. So, maybe we get back above this gap fill at 176.62. So once that gets filled, and looking at XLU, utilities definitely looks on the bearish side to me once we put in this 63. And we've actually pushed a little lower on the target 1 to the downside off of that. Now, this is something that I like to look at, select utility spider fund, because it's a flight to safety. So I want to see if we're starting, so we do have a little flight to safety here. Not aggressive though. Volume on this sell, it's pretty decent here. So we are seeing that just a tad bit. All right, looking at XLC. So we are in a breakout scenario from where we were, trying to catch up. Oh, goodness gracious. So our primary wave 3 is way the heck up there at 122. I was just peeking at these. I wasn't looking at them from a trade perspective, but actually I like this. So I'm structuring it up real quick as I'm talking. All right. So my golden box puts this up here. We're right at the first golden box. So yeah, I like XLC up to the upside. We've got a potential here to put in an all-time high, get my band to stick. All else fails, blow it up. I'm actually going to throw this as a long in Global Trends ETF. I actually like the look of that as I'm looking at it. All right, so let's take a look at XLP. Now, this is looking a little bit on the bearish side. So our target is going to come in around 58. Oh, if I had the right 57.95. Definitely a bearish look. So a close below that 66.18. Target's 57.95 as far as look. XLE looks like our target 2 is in. Got a nice push off that. Not too aggressive though. So we're going to take it, target 1 is going to be like 100 now. And our target 2 should be back around 95. As far as that look, actually, I like this one for a trade as well. XLF, nice base, testing the wedge line where we broke above that. As long as that holds and doesn't turn into an overshoot. Got some nice upside here. Good price stock for an ETF too. I like stocks below 50 bucks. I don't know why, I just do. Just makes it easier for my mind to absorb. I'm going to throw this one into to global trends too. Kirk might shoot me. I don't know if this is on our plug and play. I mean, our main list or not. I don't remember. I look at that so often, it's not funny. I look at the symbol on whether it's technically viable or not is what I look for. Not necessarily that it's different than what Kirk looks for, but so XLF, XLV, Select Healthcare also looks bullish. Internals look good as I'm looking at this at the end of the day. Okay, so we got a target 3 coming in around 134. Should get a little back test there on our 4. Very similar look to the wedge as XLF. So we definitely have some upside. Now I'm going to measure this entire cycle wave, super cycle wave, excuse me. We didn't really get RSI exhaustion here though. I mean, so this could still roll over. I mean, it's our confirmed low is really here. But we didn't get a lower low in price as far as RSI is concerned. So it's a little distorted. So get a close above that 139.56. We're in breakout mode. I'm also going to save this one for global trend ETFs. XLB. Yeah, I like this one too. So looking for maybe 90.50 on our target 1, target 2, about 80.50 backside. And we got another little wedgy looky thing line. I've been a comedian all week. I had some lady rage by me. I went to go get a slushie for my son first thing this morning after I took the opening range. And this lady zoomed past me to get to her order. Well, I was a real nice guy. I sat in front of her, waited for her order to come out, paid for her order. And I said, hey, do me a favor. Just tell her that a little patience and a little kindness goes a long way. I'd like to buy you breakfast. Happy holiday. I never know. I might have prevented her from really destroying her car because she was acting bad. That's for sure. I was afraid she'd hit something. I'd have kept her out of jail, actually. I didn't think of it that way. Don't know if I made a difference or not, but I tried. All right. So now that I've finished working this up, or I'm still kind of working it up. So XLB, Select Materials looks bullish. Right? We're right at that trend line. Heading towards maybe about 90. I'm going to print that also for Global Trends ETF. And then one more. I like this one. I knew before I even looked at it because it sort of implies to me that we're going to have a decent pump in real estate. I don't generally look at, now this is a primary wave setup. I think when I recall that, I don't remember I think it was before the holiday. I don't know. I'm a blank. I'm still trying to recover. So now we got a weekly trigger on this already, and we're right at our breakout. Is that same candle? Can we get in there? Yep. Now this has got some decent upside. You have an intermediate wave 3 right overhead, which is tight. And then we're going to back test the breakout line. A little over that right now. So should get a back test to about 35.81 on that breakout line. And then the count puts us way the heck up there. It says real estate totally recovers. I don't know if that's going to be the case or not. I still have my bias against rates, especially real estate. Sometimes biases are in my favor. It's one reason I like scalping, because then my bias doesn't affect my trade because I'm in it such a short period of time. Does that make sense? All right, looking at a extension golden box, about 45 bucks. Nice look. I'm printing this one too. Boy, we printed quite a few charts, didn't we? Yeah. Boom. All right. So what else do we need to look at? I'm going to look at crude. Now, see, so we get this breakdown in crude. We go to the, China's really weak. What we really have here, where is it? Really comes back to. Now, those of you don't know, the reason I lay out my support bands, which is I want to see the whole floor of what's there. And actually I'm not even all the way out here. Let me see. I might actually pull it out even further. We have this. Okay, now we're going to do something a little different than what I do. I want to see extend the left. I want to see how far that rolls back and where it is and what play it is, how far back it is important. And my goodness, look at that. We've not quite. So it actually goes all the way back to this band. I'm going to put a new band in over there because it's just tagging this. And really, it's just so high side. It gets in there, just tags it. So it is a resistance band that goes way the heck back here. October of 2004. I don't think that I've put that on an old chart in a while. Now, I left both of them there because I want to get a visual, So once we break this, errors and omissions, errors are going to bother me as long as they're sitting in front of my face. So, all right. So now that we've corrected that. So our next off number is March 2021 at 60.78, and then we go all the way down to 2004 at 51.76. So I would suspect that we bounce right there. That's sort of the floor that I see. And then maybe we head towards that 28 bucks. But if, we're going to slow down quite a little bit if this is going to happen. One thing about the internals is they tell me an awful lot about what's happening in different sectors as an example. And it gives you a great visual of where we might run versus where we might not. Now, when I compare crude, now this is a January 24 futures contract, to XLE, we're sort of flat. Well, crude is flat, but with a bearish skew. So, I would expect XLE to roll over here, but it doesn't look like it's going to, according to the count. So, well, that's what I wanted to cover today, folks. Just give you a broad visual of what the markets look like. I'm going to say bullish, just like I did in swing trade notes, with a directional bias. And the main reason I say that, let me just explain why I say a directional bias, is because we're still in this range. We haven't put a new high, right? So we're in this range, broad range. Let's come out to the weekly. See, we're in this whole range here. Remember how I had drawn in a triangle? Boom, boom, boom. And what are we doing? So we could roll over and put in that 390 here. I don't know at this point. It's not invalidated to me yet because we haven't put in a high above that 459. And if we go over to the NASDAQ and we draw that same pattern up there or run a scan on it, right? It says we're going to break down to about 307 from where we are now. Now that count's pushed up a little here. So my bias hasn't changed really till we put in a high above our 408.71 on the NASDAQ and a high above our, trying to get that thing to beam so I can see it. Hey, when all else fails, put a freaking label up there. Okay, 479.98. Oh, goodness gracious. Lord have mercy. Why am I? But that's why I have that directional bias, because really we haven't broken out of the pattern that we ultimately could put in. So, well, that's what I have for today. Great trading. Until next time, folks.